Back to the deadly flooding in Texas. First responders and volunteers are still searching for victims in the devastating floods, including at least 27 campers and counselors from Camp Mystic.
Veteran-led nonprofit Team Rubicon is one of those groups on the ground helping local residents. And joining us now to discuss is Art Delacruz, CEO of Team Rubicon. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
What are the conditions like on the ground there, and what are people facing?
Yeah, I think right now the conditions on the ground are largely defined by the continuing efforts towards search and recovery. You know, as a veteran-led humanitarian organization, our role at this time is supporting, some of the survivors. We're present in Kerrville, where we're soliciting and understanding what the needs are of the communities, and we're about to stand up 2 operations in adjacent counties in Kerr County and Tom Green County. We've already identified a lot of homeowners who have seen a lot of damage. There's a lot of debris and a lot of work in this long recovery to be done.
All right, let me ask you, between the search for victims and then the cleanup there is so much that needs to be done. How is your organization determining what needs to be done first? Obviously, I know looking for survivors is first and foremost, but tell me about exactly where things stand now.
Yeah, it's a long process, obviously, and you have to start with the most important aspects. So we'd likely be asked to do a lot of debris removal to ensure that services can begin to resume as quickly as possible. Things like, removing debris from blocked roadways, as well as assessing what is going on with that population. So we'll start to surge volunteers and equipment from across the country, bring it into the area and begin this work in earnest with all the other agencies that are on the ground there. A lot of homes have been destroyed or flooded, a lot of debris, and a lot of things that either need to be demolished, moved, or removed from these homes. So a lot of work ahead of us.
And Team Rubicon, a veteran-led organization, can you tell us about your efforts and how they're similar to a military operation?
Yeah, we like to say we're a veteran-led organization. We have about 50% of our 200,000 volunteers are military veterans. The rest come from all walks of society, so we bring a lot of expertise. But what we do bring is kind of this adoption of some of the military processes and, how we treat people, some of our, history and the artifacts that we use. But it's really designed around taking what veterans have inherent in their enlistments or their service, this alignment around being a part of a team, having a purpose, and getting out there and serving communities in need. So they're actually reuniting with that uniform they took off.
Art, can I ask you a logistics question? I mean, there's so many people like yourself who have descended upon the hill country to do whatever they can to help and clean up and rescue. Who's taking the lead? I mean, there's so many people there. Where do you get your direction from as to who's doing what?
Yeah, so a lot of it is communication, a lot of it is coordination, and one of the biggest things we often see in disasters like this is actually a second disaster. These terrible natural disasters bring out the best in people, but oftentimes, their actions, such as pulling, clothes out of the closet or making, donations that they don't necessarily know will be needed, begin to, actually create their own problems as these things pile up. So, we encourage people, to listen to what's being asked for. Money is always a big driver of what's going to be there as we move forward. And from a logistics standpoint, you don't want to complicate the situation. Our volunteers, don't compete for lodging. We will be on cots in churches or in schools. We'll bring our own food because, again, there are a lot of people in need, and you don't want to create extra need when you show up to help.
Art Delacruz, CEO of Team Rubicon, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
If you would like to help the families devastated by the deadly Texas floods, we've made it easy for you to donate to recovery efforts. Just scan the QR code on your screen or go to cbsnews.com/helptexas.